Well, I'll tell you, we certainly have a legend on the show today. Actor Hugh O'Brian played the part of Wyatt Earp on the TV series The Life and Legend of Wyatt Earp from 1955 to 1961. He's also appeared in numerous films like Rocket Ship XM, 1950, The Lawless Breed, There's No Business Like Show Business, Come Fly With Me, Love Has Many Faces, In Harm's Way, 10 Little Indians. I could go on and on. He has a book out as well. It's called Hugh O'Brian, or What's Left of Him, written by Mr. O'Brian and his wife, Virginia. It's a wonderful book, a very funny book. Mr. O'Brian, first of all, welcome to the show, and as I understand it, you went right into Hollywood after your stint in the Marine Corps. What year did you join the Marines?
I went in the Marine Corps in 1943, and became the youngest drill instructor in the history of the Marine Corps when I was 17. Bottom line is I would come up to Hollywood area when I had time off for obvious reasons, because that's where all the beautiful girls were. But also because they really treated the servicemen very, very well. I mean, the Hollywood Canteen had terrific meals for the guys, the servicemen that would come there. And one of the people that came up to me in the line turned out to be Ida Lupino, and she said, I want to introduce you to some people. Anyway, they made a blind date with Virginia Mayo.
Wow.
And that's how I met Virginia, and then through her and other people, I started meeting all the other beautiful ladies in showbiz, and decided when I got out of the Marine Corps with it, I should come up here and find whatever job I could, and then enjoy the beautiful ladies. And my wife now, very lovely person. This is the finest lady I've ever met, and she built like a brick house. And I used to tell the ladies they were spokesmen for Borden's Milk. And the ladies at first were, that's not it. And then they said, yeah, that's kind of fun. Yeah, sure. I'd like to be the test pilot for Borden's Milk. And I said, well, honey, just wherever you go, just make sure that that people can really see how you're built. But it's been a great life, a great wife. She is not just a beautiful, beautiful lady, but she's also the best damn cook in the world. So if you ever get out this way, come have lunch with her.
Well, thank you so much for that offer. I may take you up on that, sir. I always like to ask when I have actors who starred in Westerns, and I love Westerns. I'm sure everybody listening to this loves Westerns. When you were a kid growing up, were you a fan of Western movies?
Yeah, I enjoyed watching them like any other kid. And when I came out here, when I was in the Marine Corps, I went down to the Gene Autry show, to his office, and we became friends, and I learned a great deal from him. And also from another man who became a friend, Roy Rogers.
Oh, my goodness.
Even before I was chosen to do the Wyatt Earp series, I had met those people. And doing an adult Western was quite a challenge. They sent me to wardrobe and at the Western costume offices, and I saw what they had picked out for me, and I was damn happy I did that, because they had a white hat, they had a polka dot vest, a shirt. I mean, it was just like another Gene Autry type of show. And I said to them, I said, if we're doing a show about a man who actually lived, and this is what he wore. And they said, how do you know what he wore? And I said, because there are two reasons. One is because that's what he was buried in, but it's also what the mayor wore, or the governor, or business leaders in the city, and he wore what they wore instead of doing, any kind of a fancy costume. And he came out here and lived on 17th Street when he retired. And one of the first opportunities or jobs that he was offered was, are you acquainted with the land here, like the huge desert area between Newhall and Las Vegas?
No, sir, I'm not.
Well, one way or the other, they hired him to prevent what was happening. People would come in and they would go into that desert and they'd rake it and pick up whatever they could carry or whatever their vehicle could, and really disrupting, that huge piece. So they hired Wyatt, and he went out there one time and stood in the area between Newhall and that hunk of land, and just off the freeway. And he put up a sign that said, this property is under the supervision of Wyatt Earp. Enter at your own risk. Nobody ever bothered it again.
Well, I guess when people saw that name Wyatt Earp, they knew he meant business.
The great Wyatt Earp's got his guns now, so send him out here.
Don't walk into that shotgun, Mr. Earp. Shoot quick.
If he ain't out here in a minute, I'm coming in and get it. Did you hear that, Earp? You've come far enough, Earp.
Throw your shotgun on the road, put up your hands, and tell your friends to stay out of this play.
What are you going to do with me?
Kill you or take you to jail. Now throw down your gun, or make you fight.
We're talking to actor Hugh O'Brian, best known for his role as Wyatt Earp on television. And I understand you know a little bit about Wyatt Earp's gun, the famous Buntline special.
Well, a guy by the name of Ned Buntline, he was the writer of Penny Dreadfuls. Do you know what those were? Little comic book, size of a postcard type. And he brought the Buntline special to give to Wyatt, hoping then that Wyatt would stand still for doing interviews and stories. And Wyatt said absolutely not, and he kept the Buntline special and he kicked Buntline out of town. So that's how he wound up with the Buntline special. He may have fired it once or twice when he was a marshal, but mostly he used it to bang people over the head. And of course, it had the long barrel. The gun itself became known because of that.
Wow, it sounds like you did a lot of research into the character once you were cast as Wyatt Earp.
That's been my habit ever since I got into this crazy business. It's just fun to be full of that kind of knowledge.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, in your book, Hugh O'Brian, or what's left of him, you tell a story in this book about getting shot between the eyes by John Wayne. Can you tell our listeners that story?
Yeah, it was called The Shootist.
Yeah.
And in The Shootist, I played a faro dealer, a former gunslinger, and had kind of retired and took over the faro card table, whatever you want to call it. One of the guys, and this is all in the script, he sits there and he fills out the form or whatever it is. And then I had turned around to get some paper, and he picked up a whole batch of the brochures that I was signing and stuff, and ran out of the saloon. And as he ran, I shot him, and he fell down dead. And John Wayne was at the saloon and hid behind the corner of the bar, and the very special marksman was supposed to shoot me between my eyes and about an inch up right on the forehead. So they were going to use a double, and I said no. No, I think it'd be great if you had this all in one shot. And it's in the film, so if you look at it, you'll see it. As I come around the edge in the corner of the bar there, I get hit right between the forehead. So you actually see the pellet hitting me.
Oh, my goodness.
It's not something they dubbed in later. And that got a lot of attention from people who had previously thought I was crazy, and now they knew I was crazy. But I enjoyed doing as many stunts as possible. The most stupid one I did was going off the roof of a 44-story office building in Manhattan, and that was considered a pretty stupid stunt. Now that I think about it, it was. But I sure got a lot of attention from it, let's put it that way. I'm taking a look at where I'm going to be buried if I ever die. I'm 90. I turned 90 on April 19. There are two places. One is next to Spencer Tracy.
Uh-huh.
The other is, well, there are several people like the Forest Lawn Cemetery has quite a few people that were in showbiz and did westerns and stuff. And I got to know a lot of those old-timers and learned a lot from them and used that to try to make the Wyatt Earp series as authentic as possible. And that's, by the way, that's Forest Lawn in Glendale, California.
Yeah.
And that's where Earl Flynn is, and Clayton Moore, Spencer Tracy. So I'm going to be close to them.
Well, you'd be in good company.
If I understand right, they sometimes, almost every evening, somewhere between midnight and 4 or 5 in the morning, they'll get up and talk to each other and so forth. I'm not going to doubt that. I don't want anybody like that paying me a visit.
Yeah. I wanted to give you an opportunity to speak about the Hugh O'Brian Youth Leadership Program. What exactly is that?
Well, first of all, the program, so that people that are still listening, if there are any, HOBY is Hugh O'Brian Youth. I aimed it at 10th graders for a very special reason. They have 2 years left in high school to take what they've learned at a HOBY program at the state level, and then to focus on higher education and look into what college or university they want to go to. And that program now has about 98.5%, 6% of every high school, public and private, in the United States, make that program available to their 10th graders, and then they select 1 or 2 to go to the HOBY program at the state level. But when you get over 200 10th graders together in one room, the energy will blow you out of it. So you can check it out, and I think it would be great if you offered to perhaps put together a panel on, could be on your business or whatever you wanted to focus it on. And again, please look, if you will, at HOBY.org. And the HOBY is in caps, .org, and then the other one is HughO'Brian.me. And that's HughO'Brian.me, and that again is lowercase.
Well, I think it's wonderful that you're doing something for young people, and because you've asked me now, and it's on the air, I will do it. I mean, I would have done it anyway, but I appreciate the asking, and I will see about putting together a panel. And once again, that's HOBY.org, HOBY.org. And, of course, Mr. O'Brian's website is HughO'Brian.me. You can buy the book there. It's also up on Amazon.com, and there's a Hugh O'Brian Facebook page. Sir, thank you so much for coming on the show and chatting with us.
Well, I'm happy to do it, and you live in a great area, and I would appreciate people that might still be listening if they would take a look at the HOBY program in your state and volunteer to help with admissions when they start, helping welcome the kids, and also possibly be on a panel, depending on what their business is. But it is a great way to reach out to the leadership of tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. O'Brian, and you have a great rest of your day.
God bless all of you out there that are listening. I hope I meet all of you somehow. If you see me, come up and say hello, okay?